Hi.
Hello, hi Rohan. Um,
Hi.
we'll be starting in like 5 minutes. We will wait for other people to join in.
ठीक है. Hi, Aditya. Heard a lot about you.
Hey man, what's up? Likewise, excited for this.
Yeah.
I think we have enough people now in the room. We can start. I mean, it's 7:05. Hello, Rohan.
Hello, Akash.
So let me introduce you guys to Rohan Khameshra. So currently he's working on his own startup, which he would tell all of us about. It's I think called Data Zip, and they are in the data space again, data management for startups, preferably seed startups and Series A startups. Yep, and he has worked as a data scientist at Rapido and even at Khatabook, and like everyone here is like excited to know about like this, like how can one create a startup in the data AI ML space, as well as how to get a job in data science. So, yep, Rohan, over to you.
Uh, thanks. Thanks, Akash. Yeah. So I'll start with a little bit of intro of mine, and then maybe I'll try to break or make actually show the reality of data. It's not as rosy as it looks like from outside, but uh, I'll start with an intro, and then you guys can decide yourself. So, hi, I'm Rohan. As Akash already told, I am currently working on something of my own. And before this, I was with Khatabook and Rapido. So, I'll start with back. So, I'm 2019 IT Kharagpur graduate, born and brought up in Jaipur. Uh, did my schooling from Jaipur, went to IT, started studying electrical for I guess few days. Then I realized it, electrical is not for me, and I was looking around. I was looking around, started to read and learn about. different things in mathematics. I was always fascinated with this maths, statistics, and really a lot of economics. So started from there, and then yeah, started something of my own in college. That's when I got introduced to data science, and then joined Rapido and Katawork. So yeah, that's a bit
So,
about me.
so walk us through how you actually started off with data science. Like you mentioned that, you realized that electrical was not for you. But
Hmm.
then how did you like decide that, okay, there are so many things, there's marketing, there's finance, there is um you can make a career in maths, because I personally thought that you're good in maths. Why data science? Like,
Uh, so for me, like introduction to data science was quite comic. So I was talking to a friend who came to me after. Sorry about that. So I was talking to a friend who came to me after talking to a senior in about like first year end or something. He came to me all fascinated. Bro, looks, see, this is a really nice topic, machine learning. Didn't knew anything about it. So I was not a coder before college, and I was just about like PCM, like I guess a lot of engineers. So just started looking into it, and I was like, okay. Read a blog to intro to machine learning, got fascinated by it.
mm-hmm.
Then, like every data scientist, maybe did that end-to-end course, got more fascinated about it. And yeah, like that's how I actually like started looking around in it. It was not exactly I wanted to be a data scientist always.
Yeah,
I wanted to do something kind of mix. I don't know how to say it, but I always wanted to be in middle of tech, business, and product.
yeah,
And in like most of the startups, data scientist is a person like that, because if you're a data scientist, you need to solve problem for both business and product. So you need to understand a little bit of both, but you cannot solve those problems without coding it out. So you need to understand a lot of tech also. So it's data scientist as a job is actually a lot more uh, like in middle of things. It's not exactly a technical job. It's not exactly a business job. It's not exactly a product job. So kind of got fascinated by it, and that's how I actually started. And then I like started my own startup. I don't know why I actually did that. I still don't remember, but it was an AI NLP based startup. And as I told you, like I was never a coder. So to actually do that, I had to learn a lot of things.
yeah,
And that's when I started learning NLP and AI. Actually, not exactly machine learning or data scientist, but a lot of core technical things like actually understanding, learning things, and doing it also.
yeah.
So that was a really big help for me.
Very interestingly, you mentioned Andrew NG course. I mean, I'm pretty sure. Like, can we have a show of hands, like who have heard of Andrew NG course, or have if they have taken it? Like, you can just head on the reactions and just raise your hand. Okay, one. I see one, two, three. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's quite popular.
Yeah, it's really popular, and I don't know, like many other people, it was an introduction for me also.
Yeah. So there's this thing. So in my previous session, I just like debunked this myth sort of, um the difference between web development and software development. Essentially, it's nothing. I mean, it's pretty much the same. I mean, even in software development, you're doing stuff that you do in web development. Uh, but I think this is not the same when it comes to data science and data analytics. They are pretty much different. Or are they
Uh,
same?
they are different in some aspects, but quite similar in others. So I know it's a very politically correct answer, but so the line is quite hazy, and it depends on like where exactly you're working and for what problem you're solving. So analytics as a normal career, a lot of people actually come into data science post doing analytics for a few years.
Yeah.
That's a very general progression to this career as a data scientist. And there's a reason for that. A reason is, as an analyst also, you'll be like a lot more focused on solving some business use case, or creating some dashboards to solve some business use case, or making it easier for people to take those business decisions.
Yeah.
So as an analyst, you are involved a lot with business and product. And as a data scientist, you will be involved there too. So that's the level of similarity. Now, with respect to differentiations, as an analyst, you'll not be coding a lot. So in most, like 80 to 85% of the companies, analyst codes like maximum in some SQL language,
Yeah.
doing some level of transformations. And even if they use Python or something like that, they do it more majorly for basic transformations, basic exploratory exercises, and so on.
Got it.
But data scientist is a lot more coding intensive. You need to like create those models, test it out, backtest them, and then a lot more technical than an analyst. So there's differences in just that. It's not exactly a lot.
Got it. So I mean, again, software development, web development,
Yeah.
and another myth debunked here. So like, okay, so I believe, like, I personally know that you work with Gartner as well. Like, you interned with Gartner, then you also worked at Khatabook and Rapido. How do you prepare for, or how do you practice for these kinds of roles in college? I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, for intern or placement, like, because even I was personally confused, like, how do you prepare for data science roles?
Hmm.
Even though I got a data science intern at like at a university, but again, I was like, I never quite understood, like, what is the sure shot way of getting one?
Okay, so let me just give a big, before I actually answer that, give me a brief few minutes to answer one more question before this. So data scientist is not exactly same at every company. There are
Okay.
very different type of data scientists. You can come into data science after doing mathematics. So a lot of people come from maths background like me. So they either like the math, statistics, maybe economics, econometrics, and then they actually try to code or implement that. And that's when they actually enter this quant and data science type of industry. Then few data scientists actually come from software background. So they are really code intensive. Then they start understanding like the problem statements of business and then try to solve for that. And a lot of data scientists come from analytics background. And within data science also, those are from like sources. And within data science also, you'll be seeing a lot of data scientists just solving business problems. Then there'll be data scientists doing a lot of research, like deep learning, AI, actual like research, not exactly things. And then there are applied data scientists. So the scientists whose job is to basically get this research into industry.
Got it.
So these are the applied scientists and those type of roles. So the data science as a role is quite broad, and there are different ways to get into each one of them. And when we talk about like a role like me, which is like a data scientist in a startup,
Yeah.
so in a startup, you need to be more of a problem solver. So you need to learn a bit of everything. Like you need to learn stakeholder management to mathematics to coding to bit of everything. But if you go in some company like Microsoft or Google, then you need to learn to go deeper into a problem, actually do research about it.
Yeah.
And so requirements are quite different.
Yeah.
And that actually depends on where exactly you want to go.
Okay, so I mean, for instance, if I'm a student and I want to prepare for, say, maybe a data science role at one of the fintech companies.
Hmm.
So probably I would have to do a few courses on Kaggle or something like that.
so there are a few topics that you can understand and learn from there. So your Kaggle definitely could be a place. It's a good place to start with the modeling exercise. The data science workflow is actually a lot of steps. It's not exactly modeling. It's not always model from a data. That's the difference between data science you do at a college and an industry. So in industry, uh, lot of your time and energy will actually go into getting the data, like getting the data to the correct state and to the correct usable format. You'll be doing a lot of analysis. You'll be doing a lot of SQL joins and everything, and then you will actually be able to put up a model. In Kaggle, you can definitely learn how to implement the model, hyperparameter, tuning the model, actually pushing that model too. But that's not where the job of a data scientist stops. You need to take this data model to actually production also, and that's when a lot of MLOps platform and all those type of tools come into play. So Kaggle is a good place to start, but it's not a place to end. You still need to understand the processes before it, which includes tools like SQL, problem solving, problem dicing and all, and steps after it, which includes tools like a lot of coding, little bit of data engineering, and pipelining and all.
So Kaggle is something like Geeks for Geeks, or maybe Interview Bit or something like that, where you sort of practice and also solve new kinds of problems. But you need some first-hand experience of working for an intern or for a project to really understand it. Got it.
So I would rather suggest, if you're going for a job, go and do an internship. Try to get an internship. It's much easier to get a data science intern as compared to data science job. And if you have data science internship in your resume, your chances of getting a data science job increases by like multiple times.
Yeah, that's why I wonder, like, I got a data science intern really easily, but I never applied for data science job. But anyway, tell us what it was like working in startups like Rapido and Khatabook, because these startups, like, you joined these startups when they were like in extreme growth stage. They grew by 5x, 10x at the time when you were in these startups, and even still they continue to grow, especially Khatabook. So what is it working in a young company which is like growing many folds, like they grow many folds by months, and so in such a fast-paced environment, how is it working? Like, I mean, what are the challenges you face? What are the problems you face? Like the good things also.
Yeah.
Of course.
Actually, looking back, all the problems look good because they really helped me a lot. But at that time, it's sometimes really frustrating. So working in a startup, working in smaller teams is actually quite tiring. You actually get to know a lot of things. So when I was working with Rapido, or when I started working with Rapido, it was just in 4 cities and doing very minimal operations. When I left, it was like scaled up, I don't know how much times. And the team scaled up 30 times. So I was the only data team member, and when I left, it was 30 plus people. So you get to learn a lot. You get to learn hiring, because as a fresher, I was hiring people. I don't know why, but I was. And you get to learn hiring, you get to learn stakeholder management, you get to learn how to own a piece. Actually, it's not exactly, you're not a screw in the whole chain. You are actually the chain. I would like to, like, that's a metaphor. It's a bad one, but it's a metaphor. It's not exactly you are like solving a part of the problem. The whole problems comes under you. Like, you need to solve it. You need to make operations ready for it, business ready for it. You need to create products around it, and then that's how like startups work. They, if you're willing to take ownership, they'll give you more than you can.
Yeah.
And that's those are great places for people to work if they want to see impact. uh, because with that ownership, although your life is not that great, You are working like 13, 40 hours a day. But looking back, it was one of my best times because I was seeing the impact actual impact.
Yeah,
I was seeing how like Rapido is creating employment, solving a problem of transportation, and it was really good.
right.
So startups are for people who want to like see the impact, and it's really different. Like
Yeah.
if in terms of data science, definitely different. I'm not so sure about software because it's. I'm not sure. Like I'm not there, but in terms of data science, it's actually really different. I have been seen both Gartner and Rapido and Khataba.
Yeah.
So in terms of data science, it's actually really different from how you solve a problem in a startup as compared to a MNC.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, in a startup, of course, whether it's a software role or whether it's any kind of role, you're required to perform functions that are, sometimes beyond your capability, and then you have to learn also, and then,
Yeah, it gives you a
deliver
much
results.
faster growth. It
Yeah.
gives you actually a much faster growth. As you already know, so just a 2019 grad,
Yeah.
but at Kataberg, I am actually leading a function, and that's all of that growth is just because initially I joined in a startup, and I was in few months I started leading them up, and once I got the experience, that was a really good experience for Kataberg. That's the whole reason.
So now, so you have like worked in Rapido, Khata work, then you thought of, sort of building your own company. And again, I think you are building a company with like two other co-founders. So
Yeah.
again, one of the co-founders, I believe, has a tech background, and another is on the CEO track. So this startup, like, I'm sure many of the people would like to know what DataZip is all about. At the same time, what are your objectives right now, and what next?
So, like, as I've been talking, like data as a like a thing or data as a function in a company is looks really cool from outside, but if you actually go in any company, it's one of the messiest place to be because there's a lot of trust issues around data. You don't trust data that easily, and definitely if you're coming from business perspective and data is saying something else other than your thought, it gets difficult for someone to trust data. And data is a very messy thing, and my goal, or at least what I have been trying to do since last few years, is trying to simplify that, like trying to create value out of data. So although I say I'm a data scientist, but if you are like engineer, data analyst, data scientist, the end goal of yours will always be creating the value. Uh, how to create value, how to unlock the value of this data.
Right.
So it gets really difficult in a company to create value out of data. So,
Yeah.
and I've been trying to solve for that in last few years. And the goal is still the same, unlocking the value of data. So,
So,
and I'm trying to productize what I've been
so you
doing.
guys are essentially building a no-code tool. Uh,
Yeah.
by the way,
So,
guys, we will also be having a session on no-code tools tomorrow. So we'll be discussing something about no-code tools and why are they gaining popularity and why is it essential to learn one. Also, no-code tools by no means are easy to learn. I mean, they're also tough. So yeah, continue, Rohan.
yeah. So, rightly said, Akash. So, no code tools are not exactly easy to learn, but easy to work, I
Yeah.
would like to say. What I'm trying to build is in any analytical workflow that we have been talking last, I guess, 20 minutes. Analytical or any data actually flows through multiple steps in a company. You get the data in, you store it, you do some transformations, do some changes in that data, and then you create reports out of it. It's as simple as that. It's nothing fancy over there, analytics. And that's right now is quite messy in itself. You have multiple sources of data, you have multiple types of data, you have multiple ways in which you can store it. You can create multiple reports. Sometimes one source of data is not matching to another, and there are multiple places where things can go wrong. So what I am trying to do right now is provide a no-code end-to-end data tool, which can like solve the problem from ingestion to BI. Not exactly so, not exactly a part of the problem, but an end-to-end horizontal product. So that's my idea, and the goal is still to solve the data, creating data value.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get
So
it. So what's next for you? Like, what's next? Like, you are already like in your early 20s, like you have worked in
uh,
startups, you have worked for Gartner, you have, I personally know like Rohan Khameshra also worked somewhere abroad in Netherlands. Then he left the job because he wanted to work in India. But I mean, amazing experience, man. Amazing career journey. I mean, what's next? Like, I'm excited myself. I mean, I'm pretty sure you will like exit out of this startup in like 4 to 5 years. What's next?
I so right now, next for me is definitely entrepreneurship. So I've been learning a lot of skills. So I have like recently I've raised some money for my startup for my product, and I'm now going on a kind of a hiring spree. But before that, I am trying to understand how to create culture, how to actually hire good people, how to retain them, how to empower them, and uh, like make them understand or make them on a same single mission. So actually, a lot of learning these days,
Yeah.
and I hope I'll continue to do that in next few years itself. But excited, like really excited with respect to this entrepreneurship thing. I'm trying to solve a problem I know which is big, but getting people to solve it along with you,
Yeah.
nothing creates more value than that, and that's what is there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like many people would want to work with you, even in our small micro community. Guys, do you have any questions for Rohan? Okay, I see there is one by Praveen. No, can you explain it? Okay, this was at 7:10. I might have missed it. Um, Praveen, can we have the question again? Is he on the call? Hi, Praveen. Yeah. Yeah, it's something about a famous job, right? Okay. Which one? Oh, okay, okay. I get it. I get it. Is it about Andrew NG and the course? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, Andrew NG is this amazing data scientist who sold a lot of courses on Coursera. I think Coursera.
Buddy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm back. Yeah. Am I audible now?
Yep, audible.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was saying that, Andrew NG is the reason why Coursera really became a unicorn.
uh, a fun fact: Andrew Ange has a percentage is a percentage holder in Coursera after that course.
Has to be. I mean, otherwise he
Yeah,
would.
they gave him.
Yeah.
They gave him.
Uh, Guys, any questions about people who are interested how to, make a career in AI or ML? Okay, currently I'm studying AI, so AI impact on web development. Interesting question.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can you?
So currently, I mean, he's studying AI and he wants to know like what is the AI's impact on web development. So we keep on hearing about this VS Code, autopilot, and like these no code tools where you actually don't require to code and the AI does it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you feel that AI is gonna take the jobs away, or like web development is gonna just vanish? I mean, people would just think or say things and the site would render on its own.
Uh, so, so my pennies on that is AI are actually quite far away from taking jobs, and I don't think so. AI can take jobs. We talked about people losing job when there was a software boom, when there was an internet boom, and we are now talking about it when there's an AI boom.
Yeah.
So we have always been talking about as a culture that jobs will be lost. We said after softwares, people will start losing the job.
Yeah.
I actually don't think so. I think it will create a lot more jobs, and it will create a lot more independence with respect to jobs. So a lot of current work is actually a lot of repetitions. You keep doing same type of things. You keep solving same type of issues. That's where AI can help you, and then you can start innovating. Then you can actually start focusing your time on other new things. So that's my thoughts. Data can create a lot of value, but and AI especially can create a lot of value. But even for that value, I think AI is little far away.
Yeah.
It will still need few years of development.
Yeah, there was this article that I saw yesterday that one AI in Google's lab has become sentient, like in the sense that it can think on its own, and it's thinking things which even humans. It says that even humans won't
Yeah,
even
we keep
understand.
reading that. We keep reading that. But AI becoming sentient, sure. So there have been like multiple rules about this with respect to robotics. There are multiple rules with respect to AI. But I actually believe that AI becoming sentient, I would want to see that. I would want to talk to it. I love AI. So, and if someone can solve a problem, and I can set, sit on a beach, so see nature, and someone can work. For me,
Yeah.
that's the best case scenario. So, I'm not saying
Wow.
I am like I don't like to
Wow.
work, but
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want that? Also, guys, keep your questions in the everyone channel on the chat. So there's one question by Mannam. What are the highest packages one can get by doing web development?
Akash, you will be better one.
Yeah, I think one can get, like, you can get as much high as like $200,000 as starting salary in a company like Netflix if you're working in the US, and 200,000 is like, I think, 1.6 by today's something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it can go as low as 2 lakhs also per annum if you work for something like Wipro as data entry. But in India specifically, like the highest entry salary I've heard for web development is around 35 to 40 lakhs in companies like Postman, or yeah, mostly companies which are into B2B SaaS. I'm sorry, Bangalore is just like this. I mean, the light went off. So yeah, so what I said was like, yeah, again, 30 to 40 lakhs in mostly B2B SaaS companies. You get the highest packages. Um, there's another question by, okay, I lost the track of questions. By Krutarth, is there a large set of data for machine learning, usually like a lot of GB data, like in 300? Can we optimize it? I didn't get your question, Krutarth. Can you retype that? Okay, next question is by Anish. What is the one piece of advice that you can give to your younger self who is still an undergrad?
Uh, that's a lot of thinking. One piece of advice I would actually give is like do party more. After
Wow.
college, it gets difficult. But on a very serious note, I would like to learn a lot more of software, coding, different type of languages. You have time, and yeah, actually, you have time in college. You don't have time after it. Actually, like once you get started in a job, it gets a little difficult to learn outside the scope of job. So learning, trying out all the other different type of things in within your like college or school days is one of the best things that you can do. So trying out marketing, maybe trying out web development, trying out data science at
Yeah.
college would have been much better as compared to trying those different things out in the when you are in job.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Everyone wants to learn everything. I wish I learned more of data science. How, okay, next question is by Manam. How skilled must be we to get such high packages?
uh, So, uh, like,
I mean,
skill is a metric. You can be like I can give you a qualitative answer on this, but I can at the same time give you some level of quantitative also. So, with respect to packages, your probability of getting a high packages becomes much more when you have a path in your CV. Like, it's not exactly like you have done all your internship and research and you want something else until unless you want that in really generic role. So for something like data science, it's much better to do few projects, few internships in data science itself, and it gets really easy after that. Otherwise, it gets difficult in data science specific.
so then there's question by Sahit. Which companies to prefer, startups or FANG? I think that is like very personal. Like I personally want to work at Facebook.
Yeah, that's actually depends a lot on people,
Yeah.
like what type of work they want. Do they want really something like research oriented or cutting edge? Do they want to solve like bigger chunks of problem, not
Yeah.
exactly a part of problem? So that's person.
Yeah.
person.
So if we so the question is Krutarth by the question. So the question was he has like rephrased it. If we train AI, we do require a large data sets in like size of 304 GB data. Can we optimize that?
Yeah, we are there are already research on optimizing that. There are few algorithms there that are one shot. You give few examples and the AI will do it better than you. So it's already done. So one thing I would actually say to Pruthart, if he's this interested into, let's say, these type of questions, read more of these blogs. Data or AI as an ecosystem is changing every few days, and you'll find there's a lot more development or a lot more development in areas that we didn't even think we needed development. So it's actually a solved problem, not exactly solved for all cases, but for few cases, we have been like not exactly but humans have been able to create algorithms which can solve it in few shots.
Then we have question by Praveen. What are the suggestions that you would give to freshers who really are interested in entrepreneurship, and what are the challenges that you have faced, and how can we come over it?
Uh, as a fresher, if you are interested in entrepreneurship, I would actually say learn a lot of things. So, if you are, let's say, an entrepreneur, at least, and Akash, Aditya, and everyone would be able to say answers to this, and I may be like contradicting also, but as an entrepreneur, you need to wear a lot many more hats than a person in a job. If when I was in my data science job, I knew my job, I knew the roles, I knew what exactly I needed to do. But when I'm an entrepreneur, I need to be HR in the morning, marketing guy in the afternoon, and administration guy in the evening. So I need to learn a lot of things, and that's when you if you're in like a college, I would actually suggest learn as many things as you can, or even try it out. Or not even learning, just try things out. You'll find what problem you're excited with, because if you're not excited with a problem, it gets really difficult to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You need to be excited about the problem, not the solution, but the problem.
Yes.
And or just figure out when you're like doing this journey, you'll
Yeah.
get there. You'll actually know when you want to start.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, many mistakes that people make is that they start with the solution and they completely forget the problem. And then they are so deep into the solution that it's very hard to, address the problem. So we will cover like one or two questions. After that, we'll close the call. Is there, I mean, even I know that you're busy with everything. You have a call after this. Okay, so we'll just cover two questions. Are there any good opportunities on AI with web development in India?
Yeah. So India is definitely getting there. I would not say is there, but getting there slowly. We in startups, we have a lot of startups who are now very AI specific, AI focused, very small startups, but doing amazing work. And with respect to both engineering, DevOps too. So India is getting there. So there are opportunities. It's just a matter of matching yourself to it. So you need to be on lookout, like what exactly you want to do.
Yeah. And so the last question, will learning more number of languages be useful in getting high packages? I don't think so.
Now,
I mean, if you are learning Python and if you are learning JavaScript, I mean, you can't connect them. So there's no point. In fact, you won't be earning anything.
yeah.
Uh, So the, so the next question could be, how did you find co-founders for a startup who are as interested as you are in the idea?
So for me, I didn't find co-founders in a traditional way. So I founded them through LinkedIn, and I guess that's a different story for everyone. Some really find them in their college roommates. Some find them in their school friends. Some find them through a program. Some find them through knowing different other people. But what actually helps is they need to be as invested in the problem. They
Yeah.
need to understand the intensity of the problem in the same scale as you do. They cannot be more also, but they cannot be less also. The scale needs to be comparable, and that's how you find the co-founders. And just be on the lookout. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find out.
Well, that's it with the questions. Thanks for the amazing session, Rohan. I hope people got to know a lot about like how they can build a career in AI ML, as well as how they can transition into entrepreneurship. I mean, of course, you need to dive deep into AI ML to really understand how you can build a startup in the data space. But definitely, there are many ways you can leverage data in a startup, whether it's through basically research, or whether it's like catering to a particular problem or something like that. So again, thank you for Rohan thank you for coming, Rohan, and thank you for taking some time out. And yeah,
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
all the all the best for
Hopefully,
your,
I was able to solve some problems. And
yeah,
thank you. I understood you were saying all the best.
all the best for your datazip.io.
Yeah.
Guys, if you want an intern in datasip.io, please reach out to this guy on LinkedIn. His name is Rohan Khameshra, Khameshra. Just mention that you saw him in this particular webinar.
Yeah.
He would respond. He
Or
has to
even if you
respond.
need any help,
Yeah.
if you need any help other than internship, or like any help I can do, I'll be happy to do.
So Aditya has mentioned the LinkedIn ID of Rohan, and I have mentioned the email ID. So guys, feel free to spam him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Akash.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. So tomorrow we would be having session number 3 and 4. Session number 3 is all about how you can transition to entrepreneurship from web development. So tomorrow it's going to be more about entrepreneurship. Today it was sort of boring because it was like a professor teaching a class, because again, web development is that way. It's sort of boring, but tomorrow's session is going to be much more interesting. It's going to be about entrepreneurship, how you can actually apply your knowledge about web development, data science, or whatever it is to entrepreneurship, and set the base for your tech startup. Also, we would be having session number 4 with Aditya, who is currently right now on the call as well. He would be talking about UX design and communication skills in general, and how you can maybe talk to investors or people in general. So do join in tomorrow for our sessions. The timings would remain the same, 6 to 6:45, and then 15 minutes break, and then 7 to 7:45. I apologize for the fuck up in the beginning, pardon my language, at 6 because of some logistics issue. Tomorrow will be better prepared. Thank you for joining in. Bye-bye.